Good evening, good morning or good afternoon, depending where you're dialing in from. And welcome to the ICE71 Accelerate 4 Demo Day, and our first virtual one. We, like everyone, have had to find new ways of working through this challenging time. We've had to pivot and get creative with our business model, which, when you come to think of it, is exactly what we tell our startups to do. So now I know what it feels like to be truly entrepreneurial. And one of the reasons we've always shied away from running our programs virtually is the huge benefit our startups get from being together in person, sharing their ideas, their concerns, and just that general day-to-day camaraderie you get when you're together in a group. But I have to say, I've been pleasantly surprised and encouraged at when you have no choice, you find new ways of creating that community. Necessity really is the mother of invention. For example, I've seen videos on their calls, ignoring the washing in the background, kids making a noise or dogs barking, or maybe that's just my household. We've seen new technology used in order to create those corridor interactions that you would normally get in person, and new ways of sharing that beer at the end of the day. Now, if that's not innovation in action, I don't know what is. Now, shortly, you're going to hear from each of our 9 startups. But before we get onto that, I would like to hand over and introduce Edwin from the IMDA to say a few words.
So ICE71 was formed to develop the ecosystem, provide support in terms of funding, go-to-market, co-working facilities, and the community as well. So to date, I think we have made progress. In the 2 years that we have done this, we have already trained 88 as cybersecurity entrepreneurs, accelerated 34 companies today, and landed more than 45 scale-ups from overseas. Along those lines, we have also seen 70 new products developed, R&D teams being set up in Singapore, and substantial money being raised by our salaried graduates. I'd like to congratulate the Accelerate companies for completing the program, and to as well as to thank everybody who has participated and lent their support in helping us to achieve this.
We launched ICE71 2 years ago with the intent to create a rich cybersecurity ecosystem here in Singapore and Southeast Asia. And I'm very happy to report that after 2 years, we've created a community of over 4,000 cybersecurity professionals here in Singapore and the region. And we've helped to accelerate and increase the presence of 34 startups into Singapore and also the region. I'd like to give a big thank you to our partners who have supported us on this journey. Without IMDA, CSA, and Cisco, we probably wouldn't have been able to get to where we are today. So thank you very much for your support. And I believe that we have the ability and the capability to take ICE71 to even greater levels to create an even richer cybersecurity ecosystem here in the region.
Hi, I'm Meng. I'm the Associate Vice President for Innovation Enterprise at the National University of Singapore and a member of the ICE71 Governing Board. We are living in extraordinary times, with COVID-19 forcing most of us to work remotely or study from home. New challenges have emerged for cybersecurity. This has actually driven a greater demand for solutions and created ample opportunity for entrepreneurs like you to come up with new ideas. As cybersecurity is more crucial than before, we need even stronger synergy in our ecosystem to fight complex cyber threats together. I hope that with our support, you will be able to get your ideas off the ground quickly so that your solutions can help in this fight against COVID-19. This is only the beginning. Through ICE71's programs, we will continue to help you in your startup journey, and I'm excited to see where this takes you next. Congratulations once again, and all the best.
Singapore is an essential part of the global cybersecurity community. We knew we would find great talent when we launched here, and it's been really wonderful to see entrepreneurs both from Singapore and the wider region building their companies here. CyLon has been a proud partner of ICE71 since its launch in 2018. Through our partnership with ICE71, we're really proud to have stimulated this thriving cybersecurity ecosystem. 34 companies have been through Accelerate programs to date, and today we celebrate the achievements of our fourth latest cohort. You will hear today from 9 companies from 5 countries, reflecting the attraction of Singapore as a global hub. They've adapted incredibly well to the challenges of remote participation in a program like this, and we've loved getting to know them through various video calling platforms. They're a really, really strong group, and we hope you will take the opportunity to get to know them and their innovative solutions. So huge congratulations to all the companies of Accelerate 4 for all the progress that they've made over the last 3 months.
Thanks again for the ICE71 for organizing this virtual demo day. Ordinarily, we would have liked to meet in person, but I trust that everybody is coping well with this virtual work environment for the time being.
Thank you, Edwin. Now, due to the virtual nature of this cohort and the fact that our startups join us from 6 different countries, we have had the great pleasure of being able to connect our global network of mentors to this year's programming. And I would like to welcome Alan Jenkins, who's CyLon CISO in residence, a former CISO of FTSE 100, and is now an independent consultant and trustee, to talk a little bit more about what he sees CISOs looking for and how he sees the future of interaction being between the startup and CISOs in the future. Please welcome Alan Jenkins.
Good evening, Singapore. Good day to those of you dialing in from elsewhere. And over the next 5 minutes or so, I intend to share how the future looks from a CISO's perspective, drawing on my own experience as a practitioner. I've been in this game for over 30 years now. I'm ex-military, but I've been in commerce for the last 14. I've been Group CISO at a FTSE 100, the wrong side of a breach. And I've been facing into FTSE 100 outfits as an associate partner at IBM Security for 3 years in London, facing into financial services, particularly banking. And I'm currently CISO in residence for CyLon Labs here in London, supported the last 2 cohorts through, and indeed a couple of you remotely. But this isn't about me, but I do need to give you the disclaimer. This is based on my views. I have taken soundings. But somewhere in there, we've got humans in the mix, and humans sometimes often do illogical things. It's a complex business space, probably made more difficult in the last couple of months with the large-scale rustication of workforce back to their home locations and out of the workplace. For many businesses, that's not new. It's just been an increase in scale. But for small and medium in particular, that's been a real challenge because they're not used to it. And we've been reminded in recent days where vulnerabilities in the technology stack, such as VPNs, can cause a major risk to business, to secure business. The CISOs are managing that risk on behalf of their business. They're not the risk owner. They are in the advisory space if they're at the top end, but most are not. Most CISOs are still in the guardian/technology space. And I'm drawing on a CISO description, 4 faces of the CISO, drawn up by Deloitte back in 2016, that I think fits pretty well. It's not an exhaustive list, but I think it's a good one. And the reason I'm doing this is to encourage you to know your customer. When you're pitching to the prospect, who is probably the CISO, but might be the CTO, think about how they fit this view, because your pitch should be pitched towards their perspective. Cyber hasn't been around that long, 30 years or so, though we've only really been using the term for the last, I would guess, 10 years, perhaps 15, certainly late noughties is when it came in. I've been in it since before that. But in terms of where it's going, I think it's more and more going towards that holistic risk mitigation space, and very much more towards resilience as the end game, not detection. So the measure of success is not mean time to detect or even mean time to respond. It's how to get the business back to near normal in the shortest time possible. Because that's what the business is about, and security is about providing an environment that is free from interference. So that's our activity space, and that's what the CISOs are trying to do. So how can you help them? I think you've got a real challenge at the moment because you can't just drop by for a cup of coffee or ask to meet for a cup of coffee. You're not going to be able to engage them in a sidebar conversation at events very easily. And you certainly can't wine and dine them at the moment. I suspect that will change, but probably not as soon as you want it to. So be certain about where you're going to fit in the solution space. But to get your solution in front of them, I think you're going to need referrals. You're going to need a trusted intermediary to put you on the CISO's radar. One way of doing that is to enter awards. We've just had the SC Awards Europe last week. There were some small enterprises in there that were called out as highly commendable, and of course there were some winners, and that's been going on for a little over 10 years now. I think probably more like 15 years. I probably pay as much attention to those as I do Gartner Magic Quadrants and the Forrester reports, if I'm honest. But be sure when you do get that conversation that you know how to demonstrate your value, that you can evidence it, that your elevator pitch is solid, and that you've got that secure by design nailed. You're going to have to be patient, you're going to have to persevere, you're going to have belief in your solution. But I would urge you to know your customer before you have that first meeting as best you can. Please make sure you have your security assurance story sorted before you meet with the CISO, that you can evidence your secure by design activity, and that you don't have to retrofit it, a la Zoom, as an example, that you have that story from day one. Because the challenge that the CISO is facing with their business is actually a shortage of money. The days, I think, of a 20% year-on-year increase for the cybersecurity budget is probably gone, certainly across the board. As businesses face 6 to 12 months or more of reduced revenue streams, that puts even more pressure on the CISO to demonstrate value. What are their business drivers? What are their businesses' drivers? What markets are they working in? What silos are they working in? What are the challenges that face those silos? That's all part of the value at risk proposition that you need to be able to address. Be sure that you know how to express the value that will be gained from your solution to the CISO, and that the CISO is able to articulate that to their business, because then you will both succeed and you will get that customer reference that you so desperately need. But clearly you've got to have an eye on costs. But remember, that's not just the cost to purchase, that's also the cost to run your solution and ultimately to decommission and dispose of it. So think about that total cost of ownership. Think about that value proposition. Think about not just your metrics, but the CISO's metrics. How is the CISO going to measure effectiveness and demonstrate success into the business? And bear in mind that the CISO is time poor. So timeline, under-promising, over-delivering, on time, on budget, below budget, quicker, those will win you friends. On that note, I'd like to thank you for your attention and wish you good luck, both with your pitches this evening, with your investment rounds to come, and I look forward to meeting you in person in the weeks and months ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. So now it's time for you to meet the startups. And this year, we thought we'd do it slightly differently. At the start of each program, we connect one of our lead mentors to one of our startups to help them and support them through the entirety of the program. And we thought it'd be great for that mentor to introduce the startup and talk a little bit about how they've seen them progress during that time. So without further ado, let's start the ICE71 Accelerate 4 Virtual Demo Day.
Hi, my name is Josh Kennedy White and I work for Division X Global. I've spent 20 years in cybersecurity and I've literally seen thousands of pitches and vendor presentations. I've bought cybersecurity companies, I've invested in others, and I've helped a lot of companies grow. As a result, I think I'm pretty hard to impress. But then I was introduced to Val, Matthew, and Johannes from Chainkit. Now, this company is really something special. It's one of the few companies that's operating in a true cybersecurity white space, and they're first to market with their offering. Now, there's a lot I like about the platform, but what I really like is the team. This group of dedicated professionals bring their A game every single day. It's been an absolute privilege to mentor them, and I really hope you enjoy their presentation.
Data breaches, ransomware. Why are we seeing more cyber attacks today than ever? I'm Val Berkovici, founder and CEO of Chainkit, and you're about to find out. Professional hackers strive for stealth. Perfecting their techniques over 20 years, they've gone from appearing as ghosts and shadows in victim networks to complete invisibility today. Cyber stealth. Chainkit is first to market with a cyber stealth radar for every organization, delivering 3 unique benefits. 1, security teams see attacks at the beginning of the chain rather than the end. Forensic teams see all the evidence, not just a part. And compliance can now become a cyber counterweapon for organizations. Based in Silicon Valley, Chainkit has high-tech early adopters. Broadcom is a global supplier to Apple, Samsung, and other industry leaders. They record up to 4 billion security logs per hour. Chainkit now discovers thousands of previously invisible tampers across that big data set, while also meeting stringent compliance requirements for tamper detection. We are an 85% gross margin business selling software as a service via Chainkit annual and monthly subscriptions. We generate demand at large organizations directly, fulfilling exclusively through value-added channels who recognize 4 brand new revenue streams with us, amplifying loyalty and sales. For medium and small organizations, we distribute via white label deals at managed security providers. Including Carahsoft, our total distribution channels already cover 10% of our directly addressable market. That market size, the SAM, is already $1 billion, taking off like a rocket at 30%. We are first movers with a 24-month head start. Having achieved product market fit, we built and tested a growth plan to capture 20% of this addressable market within 3 years. Our cohesive team has already executed this same plan to $5 billion successfully before at NetApp, where I was CTO, Kumar was distinguished engineer, and Laura was first chief of staff. Mike's management consulting leadership at PricewaterhouseCoopers security practice adds to an enthusiastic team of 16 professionals in sales and engineering. Our vision is to grow our product portfolio and capture the stealth radar opportunity throughout every layer of the computing stack, growing our SAM to 7 billion, turning today's cyber victims into tomorrow's strong cyber survivors. Our strategic lead investor is already committed to half of our $10 million growth round. We're looking for an additional $5 million from global strategic investors who share our vision. Together, we will invest in robust demand generation, a vigorous partner support ecosystem, while also maintaining first mover product leadership. Make no mistake, Chainkit is the next great cybersecurity company. Join us on this rocket ride.
My name is Guy Morand, and I'm an executive director in Sony's cybersecurity team. It is my pleasure to introduce Guardara. Guardara is a baby and brainchild of Mithali Rakit and Zsolt Imre. We obviously met virtually, but it turns out that Zsolt and myself were working in the same company, one floor apart, but had not actually met. Mithali is a serial entrepreneur who brings solid experience from her previous ventures. Zsolt has deep understanding of the topic and solid creative thinking about fuzzing. Fuzzing is critical to find new vulnerabilities and quality issues in applications and products. I recommend strongly both to the investment community. Please welcome Mithali and Zsolt from Guardara.
Organizations around the world are impacted by previously unknown vulnerabilities that cause hundreds of millions of dollars worth of damages. Many of these unknown vulnerabilities could be found using a process called fuzz testing. However, fuzz testing tools that are available currently aren't being utilized effectively. For example, the very well-known WannaCry and Heartbleed vulnerabilities that impacted the public and private sector globally could have been found using fuzz testing. Hi everyone, my name is Mithali Rakit and I'm the CEO at Guardara. I'm a serial founder and have experience as a management consultant. My co-founder, Jolt, has over 15 years of experience in cybersecurity in both offensive and defensive practices, and an early version of our product, Fuzz Labs, was used by Fortune 500 companies who were willing to pay for it. So what is fuzz testing? Fuzz testing is the process of sending random inputs into a software and then having something happen, like a crash, exception, or error. This will lead you to finding an unknown vulnerability, also known as a 0-day. Fuzz testing is great because it has a low false positive rate, is highly efficient, and the bad guys and researchers are already using it. However, the fuzz testing market today has some challenges. It's a highly fragmented market, and the solutions that are available are very limited in their capabilities, are difficult to use, lack flexibility, and are time-consuming to integrate. So, we built Fuzz Labs as an antidote to all of these problems. Fuzz Labs is a powerful tool that's comprehensive, easy to integrate, scalable, easy to use, and more affordable than our competitors. So far, we have 4 product trials completed and 8 enterprise POCs in the pipeline. We have a $75,000 annual license to use the product that we charge per business unit. And in our first phase, we're going to be targeting product security teams in enterprises. In our second phase, we'll expand to QA and DevOps teams as well. Fuzz testing is part of the larger automated software testing market that is projected to grow to over $28.8 billion by 2024 with an 18% growth rate. This is a large market that's growing fast. Our mission at Guardara is to build automated, scalable software testing solutions to improve quality and security. Fuzz Labs is our entry point in the market, but we won't stop there. We plan to build an entire suite of automated software testing tools, and in order to do this, we're going to be raising $650,000 to build out our tech engineering teams and our sales teams. We want to grow from 8 POCs to 20 live customers in the next 2 years to bring in $3 million in revenue. So if there are any investors in the audience who'd like to speak with us further, please reach out to us via our website or info@guardara.com. In addition, if there are any customers in the audience, we would love to speak with you and share more information about how fuzz testing can save you both time and money when it comes to finding unknown vulnerabilities. Thanks so much.
My name's Trevor Chudley. I'm a co-founder at 5i Capital, a venture capital firm focused exclusively on cybersecurity startups. This time it's my pleasure to introduce to you Sudesh Kumar and his team from Kapalya. Now, if there's one word to describe this team, it's momentum. Every week for the past few weeks, the team has built on the progress from the prior week, and they've really got momentum going. I can't wait to see where this team goes in the future.
I'm Sudesh Kumar, founder and CEO of Kapalya. We have built an encryption management platform that provides endpoint data protection and ransomware mitigation. So let's look at the ransomware problem. Last year, billions of dollars were paid out by ransomware victims, and the average cost of recovery was over $1 million. That's a big problem. To recover, the first thing you need is to get all your data back. Secondly, if any of that data was copied by the cyber criminal, you want to ensure that that's unreadable so that they will not be able to extort you for more money down the road. And thirdly, you don't want to pay any ransom. With Kapalya's encryption management platform, we solve all of these 3 problems. Another challenge is secure file sharing. With more and more remote workers during this COVID-19 pandemic, it is absolutely essential to share files securely with your colleagues and coworkers. Using cloud-based file sharing such as Dropbox or email-based file sharing such as Outlook, your files are not 100% secure because there's an unencrypted copy of the file sitting on your endpoint and the recipient's endpoint. Using Kapalya's end-to-end encrypted file sharing, we encrypt the files on your endpoint, the file travels encrypted, and it reaches the recipient, also encrypted, making this the most secure file sharing method in the market. To build all of these things, we have assembled a world-class team. I myself have over 25 years experience in the industry, most recently working with the state of Hawaii and FBI's cybersecurity divisions. My co-founder and CTO, Saeed Khosravi, has over 20 years experience in building and implementing network-level security for large companies such as Bloomberg and BlackBerry. Kristen Kawabata, who heads up our sales and business development strategy, has over 10 years experience doing that. and Derek and Wayne both have over 20 years each in building and selling encryption solutions. Our business model is an annual recurring revenue-based model, and our target markets for 2020 are large enterprises and governments. Using our channel partners and resellers, we have gained solid traction. In the United States, we are working with federal and state level government agencies. In the Middle East, we have secured multiple POCs and will be starting 2 paid POCs later on this month. And in Asia, we have partnered with the largest encryption company in the world, whereby they will be selling our solution to the 10 ASEAN countries. Based on this solid traction, we are quite bullish on our financial forecast, projecting a 78% year-over-year growth from 2021 to 2022, with revenues exceeding $10 million. To augment and complement our existing ransomware solution, we have partnered with the National Security Agency. Using technology that they have developed and combining it with our existing technology, we will bring out the most comprehensive counter-ransomware product in the market. We are currently raising $3 million to close and support 100 enterprise and government customers, as well as build the advanced counter-ransomware solution with the National Security Agency. In this round, we already have interest from one VC. If you are an organization looking for an advanced counter-ransomware solution or a secure file sharing solution, or if you are a VC interested in this very exciting opportunity, please reach out to us. Thank you so much for your time.
Hello, my name is Claudio Caballero. I'm entrepreneur in residence for CyLon here at ICE71. I've been in the tech industry for over 20 years, founding a robotic startup and leading teams in large enterprises to securely develop new products based on advanced technologies. It's my honor today to introduce you to a startup called Olympus Sky. As I've worked with them, not only have I been fascinated to learn about their technology to secure the billions of IoT devices that are going to be coming online to the internet, it's been really terrific to watch them network with their peers in the program to improve their go-to-market approach for what is essentially going to be replacing some of the foundational protocols of the internet that are necessary to secure all of these new IoT devices. I think you're going to find their message very exciting, whether you are a future customer or an investor in the burgeoning IoT security space. Thanks very much.
Say that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But for one unlucky Las Vegas casino in 2017, that simply wasn't true when their entire high roller database was downloaded through an internet connected sensor inside of a fish tank. And how did this happen, you might ask? It happened because traditional security, otherwise known as PKI or public key infrastructure, was never designed for IoT. Our solution, Autonomous Key Management, or AKM for short, was designed explicitly to overcome all of the challenges that PKI faces with IoT. It has true end-to-end multi-point encryption. It's autonomously managed. Its security credentials are changed every single session. It is decentralized. It's simple to understand. It's simple to use. And its total cost of ownership is much lower than that of PKI, and it is absolutely resistant to quantum computing attacks. Our solution is a multi-point virtual security mesh. PKI is strictly point-to-point, which has no place in today's and tomorrow's internet. In a simple side-by-side comparison of PKI versus AKM, imagine you have a whole set of apartment buildings you want to have keys to. With PKI, you would have one master key, and that master key would fit every single door. With AKM, you have a unique master key for every single door, meaning first door, one master key, one door. Second master key, a second door. Third door, third master key, a third door. So each door has its own unique master key. Our solution, Zeus, which is built on top of our core tech AKM, is a complete security solution with a one-time license and yearly maintenance business model. We target primarily transportation and industrial IoT, including smart buildings and smart factories. And what is our market potential for this product? It is a 35 billion TAM, a 4 billion SAM, and we think conservatively that we can hit 30 to 45 million SOM by 2024. What's our traction look like? We have a signed production contract with R3 that's set to release their product in Q3 of this year. We are in our second POC with Bombardier that is leading to up to 3 separate production contracts, each of which is potentially multi-million US dollars. We also have POCs with Mira and Pelargos, and we have several other deals that are in our pipeline. Our team is comprised of myself as the CEO and CTO, and this is my 4th startup, my last of which had a successful exit. There's David Gell, who is our Chief of Strategy, and he also had a successful exit with his last startup. Then there's Adam Piotrowski, who leads our engineering team, and there is, last but not least, is Krzysztof Sharansky, and he's in charge of bringing in new deals and revenue. We are seeking investors and customers. From investors, we're looking for participants in our forthcoming Series A of $8 million US dollars. And for customers, we're looking for anyone that wants the benefit of military-grade security at a fraction of its cost. Thank you. I'm Bart Shields with Olympus Sky, and we will change the way the world thinks about security. Please join me in this quest. My information is below. Thank you and goodbye.
Hello, Trevor Chudley again from 5i Capital. Running a startup is really hard. Running a startup in the middle of a pandemic, even harder. Now imagine trying to run a startup in the middle of a pandemic as a husband and wife team. For the past few weeks, I've been working with Stephanie and Simon from Assimilate. I've really enjoyed their relentless positivity, and I know they're going to run a great business in the future.
Thank you, Trevor. It's great to be here, and I'm delighted that so many of you have joined us. I'm Stephanie, CEO and co-founder of Assimilate, and I'm here on behalf of the team to introduce Idris, our threat identification tool for the small medium enterprise sector, or SMEs. So a short while ago, I enrolled on a cybersecurity course, and one of my classmates, we'll call him Mike, had just been promoted and now has responsibility for cybersecurity in a medium-sized engineering firm. Although cyber is part of his new role, he's not sure how to approach it, hence the course. All he knows is that a competitor firm recently downsized as the result of a costly cyber attack, and of course he wants to avoid this. Like more than 2/3 of over 400 million SMEs worldwide, Mike's company outsources his IT to a managed service provider, and every month he gets his incident data back and tells his in-house team to investigate the potential threats. Over time, these threats might repeat, but Mike won't see a pattern because he can only investigate things in isolation as they're sent to him. He won't see a hacker who could have been sitting on his network for several months having a good look around at what they might exploit. In fact, as an SME, not only is he more likely to be the target of an attack, but for Mike's company, the consequences are more likely to be fatal, with some reports suggesting that as many as 60% of SMEs who experience an attack go out of business altogether within 6 months. But why are they so vulnerable? Well, they can't afford the levels of protection that enterprise can, and often they don't have the skill in-house to make use of a 6-figure license fee tool. Mike's service provider uses one of these enterprise tools, but the raw data doesn't always provide him with a clear picture of what's happening. So what can they do with so much at stake when competition for cyber skills is fierce and existing solutions are designed for more complex companies with a bigger budget? Well, from September, Mike will be able to get his team to download the Idris open source tool. Idris, or Intuitive Data Relationship Inference System, presents a visual snapshot of your network so that rather than seeing everything as an individual event, it creates a picture using graph technology. What's even better is that unlike other graphing tools on the market, Idris can be used by his in-house team as it doesn't require advanced computer skills. And to help his MSP gain a competitive edge, there'll be a premium licensed option known as Idris Stream, which allows for enhanced functions to help you understand what threats look like on your network and also has customizable reporting so that you can share relevant information about what's best for your organisation with confidence and ultimately better protect your organisation from an attack in a more efficient and cost-effective way. In fact, since we started Assimilate, SME attacks have increased by more than 400%. With such a scale of opportunity at this exciting phase in our development, we're seeking partners who can help us establish our brand and business as the go-to solution for SME cybersecurity. We're looking for seed funding and POC partners to get in touch. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to introduce Kinnami. Kinnami is a creation of Sajeesh Krishnan and Chris Chandler. Chris is a product mastermind and developer in the team. Sajeesh is leading strategy and is the CEO of the company. Both are based on the US East Coast. Their product, called AmiShare, allows to build security into the data and allows for multi-cloud cost optimization. In a sharing, collaborating world where data is every day more precious and more distributed, we need to secure the data at the source. Healthcare, legal, defense have among the highest needs to secure their data and are natural customers of the technology. They are a great team with a deep understanding of data security. I recommend Kinnami to the investment community. Please welcome Sajeesh and Chris.
Thank you, Guy, for that introduction. We've really enjoyed working with you and appreciate the time you've taken to mentor us. Hello, I'm Sajeesh Krishnan with Kinnami. Kinnami's distributed data platform fragments, encrypts, and disperses data around a network for better resiliency and security. We have an amazing team leading this charge. Chris was one of the original creators of Veritas's Net Backup. Susie ran a $3 billion business at Google. Meng is a peer-to-peer data expert, and I have built several successful companies. We're also supported by an incredible group of investors and advisors. IT security has devolved into a patchwork of band-aids. When we first started sharing data, we didn't want to lose it, and so we invented data protection. Then we wanted it available all the time, so we put in place data availability. But the bad guys started going after it, and so we got data security. Now we have this mess that we call IT security. Data loss as a consequence is growing exponentially. Social, malware, and hacking are all nightmares for a CISO. COVID-19, remote work, and our increasingly distributed world are putting pressures on data resilience. The consequences from a revenue, cost, and compliance perspective can be devastating. Our solution to these problems addresses data resiliency everywhere. Simply put, we take data, break it up into small pieces, encrypt those pieces, and then disperse them all around the network. This secures data by widening the attack surface while also providing data protection through versioning and replication. All of these operations are audited, with access and data movement orchestrated through dynamic policies. Our storage-agnostic platform protects and audits information everywhere without disrupting productive work, enabling organizations to take back control of their data while optimizing costs. The competition tends to provide incomplete point solutions around storage or security, hence this patchwork. Kinnami solves this problem once and for all through an integrated platform that provides data protection, security, and availability at endpoints and servers. And we have pilots ongoing with the US Air Force as well as document management providers in the legal sector. The focus is on secure data exchange as well as cloud security. Our platform is sold as a SaaS solution with monthly recurring fees based on the number of users and the volume of data. And the opportunity is massive. We estimate that the global market for data resiliency is around $15 billion. In the near term, our focus is on a $1 billion opportunity within legal, professional services, financial services, and defense. To capitalize on this opportunity, we are raising $1.5 million in funding to grow our engineering and commercial teams. This will give us 18 months of runway to deploy the platform at about 10 customers and enable us to raise additional funding as we grow from about $500,000 in revenues in 2020 to $40 million by 2025. Our vision is to make Kinnami the Intel Inside of data resilient platforms globally. Whether you're an investor interested in this massive opportunity or a customer that's looking for better ways to protect and secure your information, we look forward to engaging with you as we reimagine data resiliency. Thank you.
Everyone, my name is Ashish Thapar and I head the Verizon Threat Research Advisory Center Unit for Asia Pacific region. In my role as a lead mentor, I came across neoEYED as one of the mentees. In my personal opinion, I was quite impressed in their approach towards solving the intricate identity theft problem. The best thing I liked about neoEYED is that it intends to provide seamless and continuous authentication to data and applications, leveraging 100+ behavioral factors to detect anomalies and prevent account takeover or unauthorized access in real time. Here's wishing neoEYED great success ahead.
So they keep saying that we need to use complex passwords made out of letters and symbols and numbers, but what happens when the password is already in the hand of the hackers? Well, at neoEYED, we found a way to protect your password even if it has been stolen. It works like this. Here, we have my CTO. He has an application, and to log in, he has to type a 4-digit PIN code. So he's typing the code, and the application says, login successful. But now we have the fraudster. He has seen the code, so he knows the password. He's typing the same code in the application to log in, but the application says, not recognized. And that's because the way of typing the password makes him different. So think about the speed of typing the password, the pressure you're using in the finger, the way you hold the phone. There are hundreds of different behavioral factors, and all together are unique for each individual. So we created an AI that is able to recognize you just looking at this data. With this, we can detect password sharing, bot attacks, account takeover, without asking anything to the user. In comparison with other solutions, we provide something that is very efficient, is cost-effective, and requires just 1 hour of integration. So it's very simple. With this solution, we intend to break through a market that is going to grow up to $100 billion in the next 5 years, where banks and enterprise are going to be the major buyer. We already initiated the sales cycle with some of this. We have 15 customers in our pipeline we are doing a pilot with, and by the end of this year, we expect to convert them to paying customers, generating $350K worth of annual recurring revenue. Our goal is to reach 10 million in the next 5 years, with a combination of direct sales and partnership. Direct sales is required because we need to create a strong case study, but the core business is made through partnership that can help us to grow globally and faster. And we already have signed 6 of them, including an MOU with KPMG Singapore. We know all of this because we have a deep expertise in the cybersecurity domain. We have a proven track record in generating sales in the B2B enterprise space, and we have experience on building and exiting from companies. Plus, we have a great board of advisors where we have top 100 CIO in the world. We have some of the most influential names in the payment space. We won 13 awards so far, including a grant of $200K coming from Monetary Authority of Singapore. Today, we are raising 2.5 million. We need to prepare our platform to process millions of transactions per month, and we need to improve our AI to reach the accuracy at scale. Plus, we have to increase our sales team so that we can sustain the sales cycle in Southeast Asia. So this is neoEYED, invisible security for banks and enterprise. So if you're interested to talk about an investment opportunity or just to test out our solution, please come to talk with us. Thank you.
I'm privileged today to introduce you to a startup named GamaSec, which I think a startup has all the ingredients for success. Not only do they have a talented founding team and advanced cybersecurity technology, they're applying that technology to what I think is a pressing problem in the insurance industry, which I've seen in my last several years developing new products in the insurance industry. It's been heartening to see GamaSec take advantage of all the resources available to them in the program, from mentors to all of the other kinds of resources and networking. And I think you're going to find that the message that they're presenting to you now is a compelling one, whether you're a future investor or a partner or customer. Thanks very much.
Hi everyone, I'm Avi Barto of GamaSec CEO and co-founder. Now, More than ever, companies are counting on online web to do business, to provide supplier and customer access to information and data. Therefore, security detection and prevention of online cyber attacks are crucial. Cybersecurity, main concern of C-level management today. Most of the cyber attacks are perpetrated by external sources, targeting in majority the SMBs, and those cyber attacks are done via the company website. Because of the lack of data and the dynamic of the cyber attack, insurance companies have difficulty to predict cyber risk. They realize the best way to minimize cyber risk exposure is to prevent it. How? By integrating cyber technology into cyber insurance. Cybersecurity and cyber insurance provide a huge growing market. The cyber insurance grew by 27% per year compared to 4% for the classic insurance cover. What SMB need, an easy to implement cyber solution adapted to their need. What the insurance need, to prevent risk and to minimize cyber exposure. Our solution, GamaShield, satisfies both. GamaShield is a virtual hacker technology, a turnkey solution that has the capacity to identify, detect, and prevent cyber risk and minimize cyber exposure. Insurance company integrating GamaShield with their cyber insurance policy. They are reducing and preventing cyber exposure, creating a competitive selling advantage, collecting intelligent data to reduce loss ratio, and everything done with an easy to use and nothing to install solution. GamaSec already partner with several insurance companies and brokers in North America, Europe, and Asia. And we predict our insurance partner expansion to be multiplied by 3 by the end of 2021, as we already closed 3 new insurance partnerships in the last quarter. Now, let me take 2 examples of our business model. With BFL and Zurich Insurance, Zurich provides a 10% premium discount because GamaSec is part of the cyber cover. With CNA in London, part of the Lloyd, they provide free of service to all their insurance customers. The insurance carrier pay us and they merge our solution into the cyber insurance policy. But that's not enough. We already created a new generation of cyber attack technology, a real-time monitoring and detection based on deception element, following the cyber attacker and lead them to a trap, a game changer. The GamaSec team accumulated more than 50 years of cybersecurity expertise and know-how based on cyber consulting for Fortune 100 companies and a deep military and government experience give GamaSec team a real uniqueness, entrepreneur leadership combined with cyber expertise. We raised $500,000 in 2017 and we're looking now to raise $2.5 million to increase our penetration to the cyber insurance market, to open new distribution partnership, and to launch our new patent technology. Thank you very much.
It's not often a company like Scantist to come along, and it gives me the greatest pleasure to introduce them to the investment community tonight. My name's Catherine Kennedy-White. I work for Division X Global, and I'd like to think that after 20 years of working in the work-winning space, helping businesses in their marketing communications, that I can pick the companies that have got the X factor, and Scantist have it in spades. Now, I'll leave it to the experts, Rohan and Jasper, to tell you how they're differentiated in the software composition space and how they're taking on the big guns and what they're doing. They're the front guys of the business. It's already 20 people deep. And as an ecosystem and a startup community, I want us to get behind them because they are going to be the standout in the cyber ecosystem community in Singapore. And we're going to be seeing a lot more of them. They're extremely humble guys. And if they don't tell you the impressive list of clients that they're already working with, I will. Rohan and Jasper, I have had so much fun over the last 12 weeks.
and I now know more about DevSecOps and shifting left than I ever really wanted to. But I cannot wait to see you guys rock it. And just don't forget...
Hello everyone, we're Scantist, a Singapore-based cybersecurity startup focused on application security. Software applications are everywhere, from websites to mobile apps to smart solutions and IoT devices. Businesses rely on applications to deliver value to their customers. These applications need to be secure, but securing them can be a challenge. With new languages, platform, and functionality, applications are constantly evolving. Couple this with a shortage of time and expertise, as well as a growing list of threats, and application-level breaches are just waiting to happen. And happen they do. From Panama Papers to Equifax to Heartbleed, some of the most catastrophic breaches exploit vulnerabilities in the application layer. Our solutions scan software applications for vulnerabilities at the source code and binary level. Our software composition analysis offers a fast and effective way of finding known vulnerabilities, whereas our smart fuzzer uncovers unknown vulnerabilities at runtime. Our solutions reduce the cost and effort associated with managing vulnerabilities by an order of magnitude. We are able to do this by offering greater accuracy, comprehensive coverage across languages and platforms, as well as by ensuring ease of use with integrated development plugins. This puts us firmly ahead of the pack, but don't just take our word for it. We have over a dozen customers across government, enterprise, as well as software development houses in Singapore and China who have voted for us with their wallets. Speaking of wallets, we price ourselves extremely competitively. Our annual SaaS subscriptions start at $2,000 with an average deal size in the $30,000 to $120,000 range. This means that our solutions offer incredible value, which is why we are on track to do $2.1 million in 2020 revenue despite COVID challenges. Scantist's ambitions as a company go beyond application security. We plan to be the market leaders for the greater software intelligence space, offering solutions that cover security, architecture, and quality on an expansive and aggressive roadmap over the next few years. We have the team that will be needed to execute on this roadmap. This team at Scantist comprises of business veterans and tech innovators who among them have 2 successful exits, 500 plus publications, and decades of experience delivering enterprise solutions. But we wouldn't be here without the support of our investors. Scantist has raised $2.7 million so far from Credence Partners and Reconext, among other investors. We are fortunate to count the likes of Mr. Inderjeet Singh and Mr. Ko Bun Hui on our investor and advisory boards. For the next part of our journey, we are looking at you. Scantist is looking to raise $5 million early next year to acquire its next set of enterprise and SME customers. We intend to use the funds to strengthen our sales and distribution channels, as well as to continue to expand our product offerings. We hope you will join us for the journey and look forward to talking to you. Thank you.
So that's it. You've now heard from each of our 9 startups. Now don't forget, you can click and rewatch each of their videos individually and book time with them to learn more about their business and how you can get involved. It might be that you want to partner with them or be a client or invest. Now's your time to get in touch with those startups and have that conversation. But before we end, I would just like to say a big thank you to our partners at Singtel Innovate, NUS, the CSA and the IMDA, and of course, my colleagues at CyLon for making this all possible. Thank you everyone for joining us for the ICE71 Accelerate 4 Demo Day. Have a great evening, or a great morning, or a great lunchtime. Thanks again.